I had to do the same thing. For real? Cause I had to, cause I knew like if I'm like watching like a basketball game, that's gonna be like a couple hours, and I have to constantly just keep stop, record, stop,
Yeah.
record. That's all that stuff is gonna add up. And
Yeah.
by the time it's like third, fourth quarter, and the game actually gets good, I have no more story.
Do you want to hop in too?
Huh?
You want to hop in too?
Is this your guys' interview?
Well, I mean, ours, it doesn't matter. I just like all the podcast is really about. I'm just trying to like get as much like information to these people as possible. So like it's mainly for creatives, but like it's I just want like people to be able to like build, whatever they're working on,
Hmm.
type shit, and like feel like they're not stuck in like whatever point in their career, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we're talking about. Like, because I'm pretty sure there's stuff you're like working on or stuff you want to build in your own life. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And like, it's pretty much like, how are you going about it? How are you trying to like get over these hurdles, roadblocks? Because there's someone else in your shoes who needs to get through those roadblocks too. You know what I'm saying? And it,
Facts.
it doesn't even have to be creative. It could be like mental, whatever you're going through. You know what I'm saying? But you both went to college, so I'll ask you both, how's college benefited you guys? It's we're here again. You know?
My college experiences are different.
Yeah, so then we'll start with you. Definitely want to know about the networking, and then you as well, if you had networking not experience, but experiences with networking college. So you go first.
Yeah, so originally I went to Swim for the first 2 years.
Yeah,
And then my freshman year was the COVID year, so everything like so weird. Second year, my sophomore year was just everything online.
yeah,
And then it just wasn't the most like
Alright, that's
it
what
wasn't it was just a lot of shenanigans, so I ended up going back. So like, I
yeah,
took a little bit of time off
yeah,
just for the snow. So right now I'm doing my majoring in business
yeah,
admin to the business admin or management
yeah.
with the concentration in finance, and then I'm minoring in graphic design. But yeah, my college experience is very. At first, you started out rocky because, like, like
Yeah,
leaving home,
a
had
lot
like
at that time.
didn't have that much friends. But like, I ended up meeting some pretty cool people that.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I went to Plymouth too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
nah, shenanigans. But yeah,
second
um,
part of the question, I forgot.
but yeah, what about you? How was your experience with college?
so
Jado, by the way, everyone.
sir.
So
So I went full 4 years
yeah,
straight from high school.
yeah,
I thought that was like the only option is like, it's either I go straight to college or, I go straight to work.
yeah,
Football background, so I wanted to play football. I
yeah.
knew where to play football. Didn't have any scholarships.
Mm,
So I went. I had that mindset was like, hey, if I don't have offers or I don't have a scholarship, like my only chance is to, go straight to a university, a 4 year,
yeah.
and then try to make my way.
Mm,
Uh, just like Stezo, first year got cut short because of COVID. The year after that was probably the worst year I've ever experienced
yeah.
with any type of school. You know, like I was still on campus, but every day was waking up, open the laptop, close the laptop, go work out, come back, go to sleep, do the same thing over and over again.
Prison, pretty much. That's what it
Exactly. It
sounds
was
like.
it was like glorified. It was like I don't like belittle like prison or anything like that because it's obviously a
Yeah,
different world, but like it was like modernized like hurting of
yeah,
students, just like
yeah,
taking your money, you know, scheduling a time to go pick up my food, scheduling a time to go sit in the library, scheduling a time to do this, to do that. It's like you have to buy your time. You have to try to, convince them I have to leave my room. Convince them
yeah,
like I don't want to wear a mask when I'm outside. We had to wear a
yeah.
mask outside, all that. And then year after that, that was big on the vaccinations my junior year.
Same shit, yo.
So still playing football through all this, had to wear a mask under my helmet because I was unvaccinated. Everybody,
I did not know that.
yeah. So like
That's crazy.
everybody that was vaccinated was able to not wear a mask. I had to wear a mask. So like the people that weren't vaccinated, you knew. So it was kind of like you're getting isolated. in the same time, in the
Yeah,
same
that's
sense.
crazy. Like I don't know, like the way yeah, I don't know. That whole like situation was crazy. Like, no cap, they treated you like an alien if you weren't vaccinated.
Yeah, they did.
But like, so I guess what can you do, right? Shit.
They did. And even though it wasn't like direct how people felt about it, it's a biomed school, so a
Yeah.
lot of nurses, a lot of dentists, a lot of pre-med
They were
people, a lot
gonna
of doctors, future
stress that
doctors,
heavy.
future surgeons. One of my boys on the team was studying neuroscience, so he's gonna be a neurosurgeon and all that stuff.
That's a crazy thinking
Yeah.
joke. I could not imagine that. I'm not gonna lie.
So obviously with the vaccine and the whole pandemic in that setting, it definitely had a magnifying glass over it and what you believed and stuff like that. So if you walked around with a mask, even though people weren't direct, like, hey, this guy's unvaccinated type of thing, it was kind of, it was like, you didn't have to say it for it to be as direct as it was.
No, I got you.
Like, teachers would look at you in class, they would be able to see who's unvaccinated, just by a mask. Because you're only wearing a mask if you're unvaccinated. Everybody else is free to not wear a mask, especially even during football. Like during games, I was wearing a mask, forced to keep my mask on. But to get back to your question, the connections was very important. I'd say the education piece is secondary.
I got you.
Which is not really told to a lot of people. Like us, when we were coming out of high school, we were like, yo, we got to get this education so we can find this job, we can find this outlet, we can find these people that we want to talk to.
That's why I really feel like college is for like employees.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that you can use it for the connection point, like for the connection aspect of it, to where you can build something you can actually have control of your own destiny. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like why, like when the professor like told like the whole class like, yeah, oh, you guys are here so you can get your first job, so you can get experience for your career job. I'm like, you're wasting my time, bro. I don't know. That was just crazy to me. I'm like, why can't I just get the experience?
It's a whole lot of preliminary stuff. It's like, all right, we're gonna set you up for your first internship. Your internship's gonna set you up for your first job. Your first job's gonna set you up for your second job. And then after your second job, maybe you'll find your career and what you want to do. But if you don't find it by that time, then you're kind of out of luck.
And like, and at that time, at that point, like you're like 50. Yeah. It's like, bro, like I'm sick, like, and I'm already in debt for paying like however many thousands of dollars to college. So it's like shenanigans.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just want to say one thing. I think it all depends on like
it definitely depends.
Whatever that you're going to like. If you want to have like a job where you are employed, like it's right. But like the way I look at it, it's like I'm going to school. I'm taking certain classes so I can learn the skills, so I can like apply it to my life and do what I want to.
Definitely.
But like if you're gonna be something like a doctor, like a surgeon or something, you gotta go through that type of.
You have to.
Because you can't just like be like a self-made doctor.
Definitely.
I mean, like you can, but like in terms of like
The
I'm gonna
law,
just open up the stuff and do this, blah, blah, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But and I also think it depends, like one, what you're, like how you're gonna apply it to your life. And two, like what type of school you actually go to. Because you could go to like trade schools or like you go to like an art school, things like that. Like some of them, like if you're learning like videography, like photography or something. In some cases, if you take like if you go right on the path, you could just be like a photographer, like like you're an employee under some company. You take like the left street, you do everything yourself, freelance, you build, you bring whatever, do all that stuff.
Sign photographers on you, all that stuff. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, it's definitely it really definitely it's. I guess it's how you play the whole situation, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, future plans for you guys. What are you guys working on now?
Future plans?
Or what are you working on now? You say ask that.
Future plans?
Like, because I know you have lost. I don't know exactly what you have right now, but like, I want to see what you guys are like moving towards. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be like years in the future. It could be like this month. You know, I just like, what are you working on? You know?
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer the question like a few ways.
No, you good.
Like for the year, like yeah, people say like New Year's resolutions are corny or whatever, but like one focus I want to have for the year, it's like it's more just like a saying, but like motivation, thinking, and planning doesn't really mean anything like
Yeah,
without action.
discipline.
Because
I hear
like
a lot.
that's like one thing I get caught up in. That's why like a lot of stuff hasn't come out. But
Yeah,
like I'll plan, I'll think about all the stuff,
yeah,
but like it's all good. And like that you got to think about stuff. You can't just do stuff blindly. But like
yeah,
without any action and just like wait for that and go do this,
yeah.
you're just gonna stay in that one point. You're just gonna stay
Exactly.
stagnant.
Like I know one thing I noticed from you. I always feel like you're looking for inspiration instead of just like acting on the creativity. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
think it's
look,
the opposite.
that's how you
Like
feel.
it's like I don't just
No,
like
well, that's just
yeah
from what I've seen. Let me say that because I don't know what you be doing behind the scenes completely. Because I know you just be locked in your room too.
yeah
You know what I'm saying? But from what I see, that's how it appears to me. But you know, continue on what you was on your point though.
yeah.
The
Like you
motivation
asked it.
for the year, and then
Oh, but yeah, in terms of what I like currently working on,
yeah,
um, well, I just started taking some like my minor classes for
yeah,
graphic design, so like I'm learning the Adobe apps.
got you.
So like I want to start out with like small stuff. So like if somebody needs like a poster or something,
Yeah.
or like um even like making like a logo for someone,
Hmm.
and then working on like locked in like some different pieces. Drop something soon, hopefully. Don't quote me on it, but like I want to do something before the year ends or like the start of next year.
All right.
But or even just like curating a bunch of different things, like planning like a pop up with you very fun. That's what I want to do.
That sounds fire. Yeah,
A good small step.
yeah. Nah,
Step
I've been waiting for you to
pop up.
like a pop up or
Yeah.
something like, cause like you just like not out there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's another thing
Like
too.
you got like all this stuff. People just been seeing you work. Oh, Sean's got this. Oh, he sold a couple hoodies. Cool. But you're not like out there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're not putting your art in places where people are like actively like visiting yet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You also can't like you have to not be annoying with the way you advertise, but you can't let people forget that that you're
Yeah, no,
constantly working like
I definitely felt
like
that.
whether it's like just posting something like on social media, like whether it's a meme or whether it's a reel or something like that, doesn't always have to be merch drop
Exactly.
to gain traction so that people just know that you're there, and so that you don't like drop a release and then people buy it and it goes crazy,
Yeah.
and then like a few months later like people start to forget about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like they'll remember when they put the
So
hoodie on, but are they
what I noticed
remembering?
with that, right? Because like you said, you definitely don't want to be spammed,
Yeah,
right? But like people do like seeing the small stuff behind the scenes.
yeah,
yeah,
Cause like what I was talking about with Dex, like all his like when he goes to the studio and he brings his cameraman, people like seeing that whole process of like a song being made.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They like to feel like they're in your shoes. You know, they want to go through that journey with you. You know what I'm saying?
and it
Hmm.
adds like substance
You
to
know what
it.
I'm saying?
It's like all right,
Exactly.
like yeah, we hear the song, like we like it, we dance, share, whatever. But like to know
Cause like
to know how to see how the song was made,
exactly.
because that's like I feel like where like all the magic really happens.
Yeah,
Because there's even been a few times like K3 has made a few songs, but like when I'm sitting there watching him
it's
make
a
it,
different
I'm
experience.
like,
Hmm.
God,
Cause it's almost like there's a difference between like watching someone cut and sew a shirt versus you knowing like it was made in a factory.
yeah,
Like knowing, oh, this guy built this like dress by design versus oh, this dress was made in a factory in China. It puts two different images of what this like product is in your head.
Hmm.
yeah,
So even when it comes down to musicians, like hearing Drake gets his raps written versus seeing an artist write it themselves, record it themselves, puts two different images in your head.
Yep.
yeah,
So the behind the scenes matter for whatever you're trying to build, like a lot. Like me, that's why when I was doing my live streams, like people like would hop in my live streams, they'd be like, "Yo, bro, how do you just say this stuff?" It's like it adds a different level of like, yo, when Cairo does music, like he's really like that when he does his music. You know, he's not sitting there with the phone, reading off, like he's really like that with his
Yeah.
music. So like you, cause like you, I just wish I seen more content of you. That's what I'm saying. Like me, I have to assume what you do on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, I feel like you're just searching for inspiration. I don't know what you're doing. I have to make something up in my head, and that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So you gotta give those people that image in their head. You gotta be like, I'm doing this behind the scenes. So if you're gonna think about me, I want you to have this image in your head. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But yeah, that's why I kind of see like that's why I see like with your whole content situation. Like content is so important. I hate it with a burning passion, but like you need it at the end of
Especially
the day.
in this day and age too,
Bro,
with
that's
TikTok and all that.
crazy.
Yeah. And going off of that like music thing you were saying, like being in the studio, there's just a video that popped up on a timeline with like Dr. Dre and
Mm,
saying like, how famous and how intricate he is as a producer when he was with Eminem, for instance.
yeah,
When he was sitting down and he played that beat when he started Slim Shady, the whole
yeah,
Slim Shady like persona and all that.
yeah.
He just played a beat and he was like, "Hi, my name is," and he was
My name
saying
is.
he was saying how it
Yeah,
just
exactly.
how that alone just created a whole persona, Slim Shady,
You know what I'm
all that.
saying?
So all you have to do is like kind of just feel the moment, not like what you were saying before. Don't like look for the inspiration, but like create what you have with what you got. You know what I mean? And that's the hardest part.
I think that's the thing too. Like people real life like the journey portion of like they like the journey of like the story rather than like the beginning and the end
Yeah,
result.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's like think of like any anime, right? Most people's favorite arc is the training arc.
yeah,
Cause they're like, oh, Naruto's doing this. Oh, he got Sage Mode now. Oh, he fighting these people now. It's cool, but without that like training arc and without people seeing that whole development period,
hmm,
they're gonna be like, oh, he just got here to here and he just it's luck. You
yeah.
know, like
Caesar's been watching One Piece lately, and now we've been trying to get
welcome
him to
to
watch it, and that's
welcome to
another
Saul.
example. Thousands of episodes, right?
Yo,
Thousands of
Five
episodes.
77 right now.
One Piece is all sick.
yo, you're gonna
My
hop
Hero
on this.
Academia.
Yo, that's
Start watching
what?
that, bro.
You're gonna get on One Piece soon. When you do,
That One
change your
Piece,
life.
one of the most
Watch.
famous animes in the
Yo,
world.
they
It's not
have they
because
have the
powers and all that. It's
they have
because
the
of the
regular
story.
version, not the animated version. I
Bro,
seen that
live
shit on
action.
Netflix.
What?
Yeah, they have but it's like episodes. Like it's not even a movie.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
can't
it's like
watch
a
live
series.
action. I'm not there yet. My body just
That's what I'm
refuses.
saying.
Yeah.
You might it might cringe you the fuck out. You might pass out.
Oh shit.
But then again, that's another example of advertisement.
Exactly.
Even though it doesn't appeal to me either.
There's
But
different
think about all
avenues.
the
Yeah,
people that it brought
exactly.
in to that to
Exactly.
watch it.
That world.
So some things like, you know, Oda, who the author of One Piece is, he probably was looking at that and was like, yo, this is mad cringy. This is whack. Like this is not what I want the story to like look like and stuff like that. But then
Yeah.
again, he's probably I don't know for sure, but he was probably like, this is gonna bring in more people to see,
Exactly.
the inspiration behind it. They're gonna want to
Yeah,
see
because
the
he put his trust in people
Sound-
to lead a certain situation. He's like, yo, you guys know this other group of people because I'd see it as like a collaboration. He just
yeah,
decided to collab with another director. He's like, yo, I trust you guys. You know what these people like to watch.
yep,
Make it work. He might not like it personally,
yep,
but he trusts that his producer, creative director, whoever's handling that portion of One Piece's like name
yeah,
got that. You know what I'm saying? And like that brings everything back to like teamwork, cause like without teamwork or like collaborating or just knowing how to work with people or working with people in general, you're like stuck in like whatever box like you plateau like
yeah.
in your growth. Cause when other people can like take your idea and see it from a different angle, they can fill in gaps that you don't even know what's there or that you physically can't because you don't have enough hands to
Yeah.
fill in those gaps, you know?
Yeah. Goes to that saying, if you're the smartest person in your room, then you're wrong. You got to survive. You got to be able to, pride is a crazy thing, especially
Yeah,
with,
exactly.
us being young and wanting to all make it. There's a lot of competition out there, looking on social media every day, looking
Yeah.
people post all what they got and what they came from, all this, that, da, 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 and trying to find your own way. You got to understand to put your pride to the side and surround yourself with people that are going to help you grow not only people that are going to tell you yes and not only people that are going to tell you no, but people that are compatible with your dreams, what you
Yeah.
want to fill in, like fill in those gaps that you
Yeah.
couldn't see yourself. People that are smarter than you in one aspect, people that are better than you at, maybe drawing or maybe designing, and collab with them. You might have the creativity, but you might not be able to put it on paper,
Yeah, I
as
got
much as somebody else.
I got you. So
Yo, before anything, I'm out of here.
y'all stay up, stay safe.
Be easy, man. Y'all be
Say up, say.
easy.
But
Yo,
like what's it called? Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up for more stuff later.
Bet.
But I got you.
Like, what?
Sean, what we doing?
Yo, chill.
One thing I want
Yo,
to say about that is like,
Yeah.
also like depending on what you want to do,
Yeah.
like in terms of like surrounding yourself with certain people, like
Yeah.
whatever you want to like do in life, you gotta surround yourself with people with like similar interests.
Exactly.
So like when I get in like the most like creative like states and like I just like
Yeah,
I
that's
get
one thing you
get
do a lot. I
self-protective,
think you do that.
like even if it's just me and you, like we'll make a song, like
It
they not ever
helps
come out.
Yeah, it
Like
helps
it helps
fuel
me.
other ideas. It puts you in that environment though.
I think about it
Yeah.
like almost like putting up shots in the gym. Like even just
Copy.
making music, like
Just getting the reps in.
do I want to be a
Being
rapper?
creative.
No, not necessarily. But like I'm exercising like the
The
creativity
creative
and
muscle,
like
yeah.
if you think about all art, it's like it's not just like one thing. It all blends together in some way.
Exactly. And that's like that's the difference between like being like a rapper or like a photographer and a creative director. Creative director sees like the bigger picture past the title or the hat that they're wearing in that moment. Like
Mhm.
exactly. So like just being like just us creating a song like what it does for like creativity, like you can take whatever concepts you just did or from that exercise and you can bring those adjustments into anything you work with.
Yeah.
Like me learning how to do logic, like I took those like abilities and skills and I will take into like video editing sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So cutting out the bad and then enhancing the new. Or with enhancing the clean or the good, whatever, you know? So like you can take like basic concepts and ideas and just like take it into any aspect of your life or creative endeavor and like that's that's pretty much what being creative is. It's like
Mhm.
it's really just problem solving, or you could even see it as making what doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? That's how I
Yeah.
see creativity.
When I see it, like just what you said
Mm.
is you're not limited about what you can do. You're limited on what you can think.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything, creativity, like anything, like
Yeah,
this bench, the car, the tripod, everything that's hat, everything that we're doing was made from a thought.
exactly.
Everything is made from a thought. So like making music,
Hmm.
putting up those shots in the gym and all that, like you were saying,
Yeah,
that's creating more thoughts.
yeah,
The more you can train your mind, the more you can be more creative. The more you surround yourself with different perspectives and having an open mind and wanting to perceive a world in a different way and
yeah,
not try to be reacting to everything,
yeah.
but to take it in and all that and think about it and actually critically think about it and try to innovate and all that stuff. That's where all the money is.
Right. And on top of that too, like everything's impossible until it's not.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, yeah, like for example, like you said, this bench, no one would think of building this until someone builds it.
Yeah.
Flying, the Wright brothers, like even like
Light bulb.
a black president, like all that kind of stuff. Like everything's impossible until like it's possible. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't ever like people really gotta understand like even down to like this whole like concept of like me being an independent artist or you being an independent like clothing designer. Like some people might think like, oh, you have to like work for Kanye West before you can even get to the point of even knowing how to like build your own clothing brand and being successful. You know what I'm saying? Or even for you, like there's people who believe like you have to go to college to make it to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have to join the practice squad, you know, or some people are literally the water boy.
Mm-hmm.
And coach is like, hey, I'll give you a shot. Duh. You take that. You take, and another thing too, you gotta have your eyes open. Like if you're focused on all the negative and all the stuff that's not happening for you, you're gonna miss out on all the opportunities that are actually there in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
everything's impossible till it's not.
Yeah, and then another thing, like even with sports,
Mm.
like even if you don't want to be like say like you're not skilled enough or like you the clock is ticking for you to be like a professional athlete or whatever.
Yeah,
Sports is such like a lucrative and like free flowing business.
yeah.
Like you can you can be like an equipment manager
Mm-hmm.
for like one school, and you can quickly be like a position coach. Go to a
Exactly.
position coach from the system, and from you being an assistant or like an offensive coordinator, or
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you're coaching like the big men to get you a head coaching job at like some D3 school here, and then that D3
Exactly.
school here to get you like an assistant coach position at like a D1, D2, and it's like I feel like with sports, once you have like your foot in the door in terms of like not being an athlete,
Yeah.
like everything else around it, once you have the foot in the door, like everything just moves so much. There's so much turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, how often do you have like a whole coaching staff stay at one place for like a long, long
Right.
period of time?
Yeah.
And like now, like a bunch of new schools are like adding sports and stuff. There's always going to be an opportunity somewhere for you to either take a different route, like where
Yeah.
you may be at might not be the perfect place for you. To take a different route, go to some place that's a better situation. You may not be taking a step up,
Yeah.
like it could be like a step out or like a diagonal,
Yeah, I got you.
and then you could just keep building from there.
To
Exactly.
kind of go off of that, I see that. I also like not to make excuses in like terms of the sports
No,
world,
I got you.
but I feel like the way that we're going into, especially if you've played like college sports and if you've seen like sports in general, is a lot of it is politics as well. You
Definitely.
know,
Which
so
I
it
feel like,
goes into the
yeah,
connections. Like you got to be seen by the right people. Like
exactly.
you said, you can be an equipment manager, but I mean, if you to make that equipment manager to like a coach,
Yeah,
like just working hard isn't gonna get you to that
exactly.
point. Like you have to work hard, but you have to, be connect. Like you have to know that you have to show that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But the right people aren't gonna, some people aren't gonna take a chance. Be like, yo, this equipment manager knows what he's doing. Because
yeah,
again, we have a lot of pride. A
yeah,
lot of these big college coaches, some of them never even coached high school,
yeah,
going straight to college because they know somebody or that
exactly.
they had some person that believed in them. Same
Exactly.
with sports. You can grind your way to the professional level at without playing a high D1 school and stuff like that. But it's also hard because you have to have the right people to believe in you, and
Yeah.
that's the biggest.
The politics is crazy because
Yeah,
even I was talking to Elijah about it, TVO Guap, right?
yeah,
He was talking to me about how he was doing basketball and like how he was like stuck like in his whole situation and like he couldn't get past like a certain wall because of a whole political situation. So like yeah, like politics, especially in the sports world, I never thought it was a thing
hmm
until like I keep hearing stories about like yeah, you're really nothing until someone like wants to get you through that door. Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, someone still has to sign off on you. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah, you have to have like that's the thing. It's not all politics. Like you can work hard and this and
Yeah,
that, but like they always say, we can walk down to Second Street and get McDonald's and say those people are working hard.
exactly.
They can work hard for the next 15 years at that
And
same
still be at that
establishment,
same
and they
spot.
could still be at that same establishment.
Yup.
But say one person walks in, a wealthy man, a business owner walks in and sees that person working hard, that's what changes it. It's
Exactly.
who believes in you. You have to, that's
Exactly.
why again going back to surrounding yourself by people that truly believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
And if they believe in you, then you can believe in yourself even more. And
Yup.
that's what all it takes for creativity, for sports, all of that. Because you never hear about, you can get ref certifications, but how you think NBA refs, NFL refs get into that position?
Right.
I mean, you never
Exactly.
really hear about, somebody grinding their way up from a ref level. I'm sure it happened,
But
but
like,
like
yeah,
you've
exactly.
you've been coached by the same West people same referees for
exactly
4 years, probably, going to watch the games 5 years, 6 years, same refs.
they're still there,
and they're
bro.
still there. And
You
it's
know what I'm
not,
saying?
I'm sure they love it, or like, I'm sure they're doing it for a reason.
Yeah,
But I'm sure if they also had an opportunity to go up
they take
and coach, ref
for
college
those. Yeah,
games,
exactly.
and then ref high college games, and then ref professional games, stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's like you don't really hear that process.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's another reason why I'm trying to do like this, like podcasts like these, because like people see me like people see like me and Dex like we'll be like performing the they don't understand, like people don't understand how much stress I went through for jump out. Exactly.
One or two.
Don't even do the first. Nah, dog.
One or
Like
two.
The second
Look,
one.
for example, the first jump out that was supposed to be like at Bungalow. Remember that?
Yep.
Bro, I'm telling you,
Yep.
when they double booked me, that's when I knew. I'm like, yo, you can't trust anyone who just says they got you. You need to get that shit down on paper, this, that. Otherwise, shenanigans.
Yeah.
Bro, everyone was at Gill Stadium. Like, the whole marketing for that was set up perfectly. Marketing. I was marketing, promoting. Crazy, right? And I had it set up to where everyone's at Gill Stadium. They're about to leave the Jamboree. They're about to just walk across the street, go straight to Bungalow, about to have a crazy concert.
Yep.
I get there, I see a rock band playing. They're playing like emo music. I was sick. I'm like, nah, I'm going home.
That.
I went home. I ain't talked to no one. Room was dark for like the whole day straight. Man, I felt like 3 days. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think I ate.
That was the first one, right?
That was the absolute first one. I was
And
sick.
then ended up working out at the stew.
And then the second one, I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna take this L like this. Like, I want to have something crazy big.
Yeah.
So the second one, right? And the first one was supposed to be ECD only.
Mm-hmm.
So the second one, right? This is after like I built the studio. Like most of the people at the studio, their names were at a certain level, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was lit then, right?
Yeah.
I throw jump out in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
The golden age.
And that wasn't meant to be a home run.
Exactly.
That was meant to be a setup for future endeavors. And now that is the foundation, which was a great foundation.
Exactly.
And then going into the next year.
And I'm telling people, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get 500 people there, just so that maybe I can get at least 100 people there. I was happy with 100.
Yeah.
Well, I told myself I'm gonna try to get 1,000 just so like at least 200 people show up. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm working hard every day promoting for like, I think it was like 3-4 months.
Yeah. It was like it was in July or June.
It was in, I think, June 7th or June 11th, I think. No, July 11th. So I'm telling all these people I'm promoting, and I'm hanging out with this girl. She's like, man, you gotta get realistic, man. Like you've been promoting this for months. No one's gonna show up like that. I'm like, I bet. Watch. I start going harder. Cause I'm like, bro, ain't no way this girl's just gonna like.
She's gonna put you in a box.
She's gonna put me in a box like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, but if I sat there and just let that got to me, I definitely would have lost.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing hurting me from trying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm doing everything, and this is why I'm like getting angry because I'm like, yo, I was like locked in. Like I'm just like dickhead Des now. Like I'm like, yo, bro, I need you guys to move this right there. I need these wires from you people right now. Like, hey, I didn't see no poster on you guys' story. Like, you guys need to get these things out. Like, I'm messaging people, like, telling them to, like, put their profile, like, pick as jump out.
Yeah,
Like, you just see,
that.
everyone was just seeing red on everyone's story. Like, it was a perfect marketing plan. I was doing it all me. It wasn't all me, of course, but, like, I had to orchestrate the whole thing, like, off of, like, just straight willpower. Like, it was like, because I'm not going to say I was, like, disciplined enough yet, but, like, I just know I'm like, bro, like, if I fail, like, I can't even imagine me failing. Like, I needed this to happen that bad.
Yeah.
So, like failure was not an option. I had no vision for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can't fail from it.
I was so locked in, like, and then we get there. It's the performance day. Everyone's outside. I just see a wall of like 50 people lined up. I'm like, man, lot looks kind of empty. Maybe you'll warm up a little. So We start playing a couple of the warm-up songs and stuff. People are outside, they start to collect. It's 100 people now. I'm like, yo, this isn't bad. Let me start with this. I'll start with this, and if more people come, more people come. If not, I'll take it. I'll just accept what I got right here.
Yeah.
Right? We're performing after the whole ECD set. Like, there's like 250 people. I'm like, yo, this is weird. I'm like, I did not, cause like, bro, I'm talking. There's like people like I haven't talked to, like people I don't talk to, like were there, like the whole city was there. I'm like, yo, I actually like did something today, and then and then we went all the way into the night, and I don't care. That video that Uno shot is my favorite video to just go through every once in a while. It's Lil Tecca playing what's it called, Ransom, and it's just you, Lowe's. Everyone's just like and the whole crowd's behind you guys, just like like everyone's just lit. We had like 300 like people there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mom and Nico pulled up, like Pops was there, everyone was there, like.
Didn't they get mad at the parking lot too because there was too many people parking?
Yo,
there too. They said something.
I'll never care. I'll never care. That was the craziest thing we ever done.
Thinking about that whole thing,
Yeah.
it's like when you're first starting something, like you're gonna make so many mistakes.
Exactly.
Like looking back on it now, I'm like, yo, that was so. Like, I'm not even trying to hate, but
Yeah.
that was so badly organized.
Whoa, what? Bro, you saw this? The stage was literally
plywood.
3 sheets of plywood, 2 on the side, 1 on top.
We had a table. We had one table with like an engineer.
Yeah.
Random people just walking over. We had like. Did we even have a rope? I remember
No.
there's something like you can't cross the stage and there was something blocking it.
It was the like roadblocker thing. We had that like on the side. Exactly.
But I remember people just walk around. Now we have like 50 people not even performing, just standing back there. Just because like they came with someone, which is like fair enough. But like I remember like towards the end of the night when like everybody's like all the actual artists, like all their songs are done playing, the set list is over. Or like even through some of them, I remember this one girl. She was like, why don't we play like real music? Like, why are you playing like these people? And I remember like I just thinking in my head, I looked at her, I'm like, bro, you came to a concert for artists in the city. You know, the whole point is for them to perform and play their music. I mean, towards the end, like we started playing like all the hot
we had our
songs
fun definitely, but like you guys came here for us first, like
yeah.
And but the thing that really annoyed me about that was I asked a lot of artists, like, yo, you want to perform? Like, if you want to perform, like, this is your last chance. Like, I want to hear it later. As soon as it starts getting lit, it starts getting bumping. They're like, yo, bro, play my song, bro. Like, why don't you want to play? It's like, what are you talking about? I gave you a chance. You don't want to send me anything. Now you want to send it the day of when you see it's lit? Like, that makes me sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that shit made me so sick, bro. Like,
front runner.
Something like that, it's like, you can't go wrong either way. Because, like, if you want to do, like, fuck it, let's just have fun. Like, put on the city. Send me a song, bro. Send me 3 songs.
Yeah, I was like, why not? But, like,
at the same time, it's like, I gave you the opportunity, bro.
Yeah,
You didn't see or believe in me.
You didn't want to believe in me? All right, it's cool. I'll just take notes for next time, The
thing about that, like, it's not only, like, you orchestrating it, it's not even, like, just you that's benefiting from it. It's bringing the city together. Exactly. It's such a small city where everyone, can seem to get divided. You can wake up one day and, like, everybody's arguing with each other. That's the problem why a small city stays a small city and why it's hard for people to make it out, because we're always trying to compete with each other to be the first to do this, to be the first, to get that rollie, to be the first to bring a vet to the hood and park it on the side street. We all want to be the first to do it. But
I don't even compete with people from the city. Like, I'm at the point where I'm trying to compete with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I'm trying to compete with them. And that's because, like, when you're competing with someone who's on your level or, like, lower, on your level, you might be able to get, like, some little boost off of that. But, like, someone lower or someone, like, it's like, what are you going to gain after that? Like, you're either going to beat them and then that's it. That's the end of the mission. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my rivals are GOATs. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be on that level where I'm competing with the GOAT so I can be doing GOAT stuff myself. You know what I'm saying?
You know, one person that you left off that you should really compete with, the person you look at when you look in the mirror.
That's fact.
That's the number one competitor. Because if you're not competing with yourself, you know, you can compete with Drake, you can compete with that. You know, you see how it goes when people try to challenge Drake all willy nilly and stuff like that. That's what people, you know, start to, you know, get that their head bigger than their shoulders type of deal, you know, trying to challenge somebody, but you know, you're not working on yourself. You know, if it's competing with Drake, but you're not competing with yourself, then you're gonna try to compete with Drake and you're just gonna keep chasing him. You know, keep chasing him. But if you're competing with yourself, you're actually gonna grow, you're actually gonna learn from it, and then you can build yourself to the point where you're like, I'm not even competing with these guys. I haven't been competing with these guys. I'm just competing with myself. I'm trying like Drake probably don't look at nobody and say I'm competing with this person. He's like, I'm trying to break my next record.
You know what I'm
Look
saying?
at LeBron James. He's probably like, I'm not competing with anybody. Since he came into the league at 20, he was like, I'm trying to get this amount of points this night. I'm trying to get better for this game. I'm trying to get better and better. And then the accumulation of that is what makes him the GOAT.
Exactly.
And I'm not hearing any of the MJ LeBron debates. You can argue with a wall, you can argue with a car.
Exactly.
Don't matter. LeBron's the GOAT.
That's
But
crazy.
if you compete with yourself, you know, and that's the part where I struggle the most because I find myself stagnant right now where I'm at right now in trying to find, and I'm sure it's a lot of people, especially this age, is like trying to find something, you know, to put your effort in, creativity and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, right? Like, especially during track season out west, like it never clicked in my head. Cause now, like, I look back, Coach Hess was always right.
Yo,
He's always right. Like, I'd
me
be
and Tso,
sick.
when we're talking about
I'd
this,
be
yo,
sick
yo,
every time. I'd be like,
yo, we're
right.
talking about this, yo, we talk about this all the time, bro. We're literally like, we're
That's
thinking, I'm like, yo, like looking back on it, like he was one of the best coaches like you could ask for.
Best coach you
Like,
could ever ask for.
He was a dude that was like, he's gonna say what he wants to say, and he's gonna say it not because he's trying to prove something, but he's saying it because he truly believes in this. Like,
and
you think
seen
he's
results.
like you think he has an ego and all that. Like, if you just meet him, you're like, yo, oh, this guy just thinks he's nice, da da da. But like, no, he's saying this because he truly believes in it. He's saying that you need to run faster because he knows that you can run faster. He was what 50 or 40, 50 years old when he said he first did pole vault, cleared 9 feet at 50 years old.
That's crazy. Bro.
Racing us in the hallway backwards, you know, challenge. And that's a dude.
Yo,
that's a dude
crazy.
that's a dude that's competing with himself, bro.
Every day.
Like, that's a dude that's competing with himself every single day, bro. Like, this dude lived, breathed, slept, ate, everything, showered, track. Everything track.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
everything track.
That guy was actually a great coach.
Sometimes, like, you know, you don't want to give people, like, you know, that I told you so moment, but, like, there's one day, like, in, I think it was, like, my freshman year of college, or even, like, throughout track, I just woke up one day, I'm like, damn, like, this dude is right, bro.
like, crazy.
Remember, you'd
right?
always say, like, yo, if you don't work on your core, like, your body's physically gonna limit itself. Like, you won't be able to get stronger, faster, anything. I'm like,
you know what's crazy too?
Cool.
Now I'm like into calisthenics.
Yep.
Bro, I'm like, man, coach, how am I supposed to run faster if I'm not doing my squats, I'm not weightlifting, He's like, bro, if you can't control your own body,
you're like weak core. You got
like,
core.
Bro, like, man, that guy was right all the time, bro.
Even like with all the technique, like made sure everything was to the T. And like, you know, we had fun like during practice, like blah blah, like you joked around and stuff, but like aside from that, it was strictly business.
That's another thing.
We had like a small team, but like when it came to certain events like that we were like good at, like our relay team was good, triple jump, you know, we had some sprinters.
Like, that's another thing too. Like, when your head's too big, you real life cannot hear like the shit you really need to hear. Mm-hmm. Like, we needed to hear that in order to become better in track. Like,
not even better in track, just be better in general.
In general, like, Nah, like I don't know. I hear his voice every once in a while when I'm like working or grinding,
Like,
whatever.
yeah, he was right.
That guy was right.
And nothing was like nothing was taken for granted with him. Every meet, every practice, everything was treated like it was the big thing. Like
Yup.
this was the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
This is the
You know?
meet of champions. You know, and that's why we were so good our senior year.
You know what's crazy too? Like I know I didn't play senior year, but even when I was there, like bro, we're like the smallest team, but we're all placing.
Yes.
Like going to like states.
Yeah.
The like bro, he made us like
did we win a lot of meets?
no,
Not
not
even
as a
close,
team, but
but,
like bro, he made like in and even look what he did with Lil 22.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, he knows how he like real life creates like monsters when it comes to like just self development. You know what I'm saying? Saw him, yo, first year, just off rip, nasty.
These don't know about Jamaica too. The long jump.
That's crazy.
Dude, but that's awesome. I just forgot.
Like dudes, like bro, dudes gotta understand like, and who saw him too.
Yeah.
Like there was dudes that like didn't really do track like that,
Yeah.
but he was able to find their strengths and
Yeah.
and use that like to help them. You know, when we were
Yeah.
doing 4x1 and we got that picture of the baton, and he's like,
Yeah.
"This is the perfect handoff. This is the perfect handoff right
Get
here."
this down every
And like
time.
I tell you, bro, there was nothing like getting a clean handoff and giving a clean handoff. You know, that's like it's literally the accumulation of just teamwork. Like there's not much more teamwork than 4x1.
And it's like so much practice. It's like practice turning into perfection.
Exactly.
And that's another
For
thing. Even
50
with
seconds.
football too, like I always thought I was just great at football. Like I can just wing it when I got to the field. Like me, like I used to look at Paul just sit at lunch and just watch film.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm like, man, you know me, I just be like, I got this, whatever. Or like I'll just listen to Paul on the field. No, Paul was middle linebacker for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I Peter Paul.
Yeah.
right, factual. And like even down to like he wouldn't even know like I don't watch film. He'll come up to me at lunch. He'll be like, "All right, bro, watch this right here," and he'll like explain the whole situation to me. And so like he made sure the team was in line when it came time. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like that's another thing. Like having a solid team too. Like just people who like believe in you, just like solid like teammates. Like, cause coach, he's a solid teammate. Even though he's the coach, he's part of the team. He made sure everyone was locked in. Paul, he made sure everyone was locked in. You know what I'm saying? You guys have TSO. You guys need to make sure you're all locked in. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm surprised you guys haven't started a podcast a while ago. You guys need to start that podcast yesterday, last month.
Yeah. But like, last thing I'm gonna say about Coach Hess, though, taught me a lot about like reflecting, self awareness, and like personal discipline. Cause like there'd be like little things. Like before we had like a thrill like serious coach. Like we did like track in middle school, like we were Mr. G. Like we did a bunch of stuff. Like we had like a routine. But once we got to high school, we do stuff like every day. Like if you weren't sweating and we were doing a workout, you knew instantly you're not hydrated.
Exactly. Yeah, I already knew.
You're, like,
Dehydrated.
He'd be like, I remember one time he literally bought me a pair of like compression like underwear or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to get torn and twist, whatever, blah blah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or like when we warmed up, unless it was hot out, you have to have a sweater and a sweater. And like like if you're like, regular warming up, like you're about to go like hoop, about to go like lifts, like play soccer, whatever. It's like, bro, I'm just gonna do a few quick stretches, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, like in certain situations, like your body has to be warm, like your muscles have to be loose, stuff like that.
Some shit,
Like,
and it's like shit you wouldn't even notice, but like
Mm-hmm.
it
Or
all
it's-
affects like the end result of performance. Like it's he was like a 1% like every 1% adds up,
Yes,
to
every
the
1%
100.
adds
You know
up.
what I'm saying?
Like especially with abs.
Especially what?
Because I remember doing abs my freshman year at Plum, you do it every. Not gonna say every morning, but in first semester we lifted like first semester and third season, we lifted like 3 times a week. After season, we took like a little break.
Yeah.
And then I think it was either three. I think it was still three. We might have went to four, and then second semester, we did 4 days a week. We did the abs. We did like 1 or 2 ab things every single day.
Yeah.
And like there's certain kids like they would slack off a little on the abs, like they wouldn't like do everything.
Yeah.
It'd be the same kids. When it came to max out day, you either drop down in weight or you stay the same.
Yeah, I got you.
That's what that.
Every time I take a week off of working out or doing something, I'm telling you to this day, I always
Yo.
hear his voice.
It's like 15% or something.
He goes, every athlete after a week of not doing anything, 15% decrease in your athletic ability.
I'm like, that's cap. Crazy.
And it's like, bro, that's what literally, I kid you not, motivates me. Like, I can't go a week straight without doing something athletic.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna tell you that bleeds into creative too. Cause like when I go long periods without making a song, ass, bro. But like I know for a fact I can get back to full ability if I record for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
You know, every day at least one song, 2 weeks. After that, I can take at least 3 days in between.
Yeah.
But it cannot go past like that 3 days. Otherwise, that song's not gonna be nice. Yeah. And I'm talking like, everything I say is lit. Bar after bar is like fire. You know what I'm saying? Like
beats or slapping.
Even if the beat's ass, it'll still be fire just because I'm speaking.
I mean, like in terms of like making it's like not just math.
No, exactly.
Not
making it too, exactly.
Where it's like I'm gonna engineer this song for someone like, all right. If I would have done this when I'm out the groove, like the mix is gonna sound like
exactly.
Versus like when I'm in the groove, it's like, all right, I'm using this plugin that I haven't used in like months.
Exactly.
And
yeah,
doing all this other stuff.
Cause it you have to like build up like performance like momentum too. Like everything has a momentum. Like
everything.
Even when it comes down to like promotion, like the attention that people have on you, that has momentum too. Because consistency and everything is pretty much the key.
Everything's momentum, especially in the music industry. Look at what Boss Mandilo just posted recently, yesterday.
What did he post?
He posted 4 platinum records. He was like, in 6 months. Think about that. He said, like, think about a year from today.
Yeah.
The general public wasn't talking about Boss Mandilo. Exactly. Wasn't talking about, artists, a lot of artists that do that same thing. Yeah. 6 months, he has 4 platinum records to show from it. Just 6 months of work.
Yeah.
And that's how momentum builds.
Exactly.
Same with, law. Same with music.
Exactly.
Once you build that momentum, you could go 2 years without getting that big click. But once you get it, you have to use that momentum. Just like I was in sales before the job I'm at now. I was in sales.
Yeah.
One of their sayings was, "What's the best time to make a sale?" After another one. After another one. That's what they would say. In sales, everybody has to have some type of sales background, whether it's in a job or whether it's into it internally.
Yeah.
You have to be able to sell yourself.
Everything.
Sell your idea. Yeah. Going back to that connection, have someone believe in you. Say you don't want to stay independent artist. You want to get signed by a record label. You have to sell yourself to them.
And if you're independent, you're selling yourself directly to a customer.
Exactly.
Or even how you said for sports, politics, you got to sell yourself to those people who are signing off on you being able to play.
Exactly. And when it comes to selling yourself, now it comes to the saying, don't sell yourself short.
Exactly.
You have to sell yourself, but you have to understand your worth.
Know your worth.
It's good to understand what your worth is, but it's not good to have too much pride to think, I should be getting paid like this guy. I should be getting paid like this guy. Because at the end of the day, talent only brings you so far.
Yeah.
If you don't have all the intangibles that surround it.
Yeah.
Like I always say, shout out to Taylor Swift. She might be the closest person to, like world famous that we'll see in our lifetime as a artist standpoint, the way that she takes over everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you think about singers, you don't think about Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
When you think about, crazy concert, dancing, stuff like that, surrounding culture, you don't think about Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
So what really does Taylor Swift do good that makes her that much promotion, that much, consumption of music? It's her marketing, it's her catchiness, it's her using her momentum.
Yo,
Whether it's dropping the same album, just
yeah. And the thing is,
recording it
like
differently.
Taylor Swift, like herself as an actual human being, she's very strategic with like how she moves.
Exactly.
Like people in the industry will tell you, like when she thinks of like when she wants to do something, she has like a whole plan laid out. Like when she does it, like even before the team aspect, like her herself is like a crazy like. Yeah, she's just very methodical in like her whole.
Because she's mastered the intangibles.
Exactly.
Her. I'm not saying she's not a talented singer or that,
No,
but if it was
got you.
up to just her talent, we would not be hearing Taylor
Definitely.
Swift. All
Definitely.
these things.
Because to me, Beyonce's over Taylor Swift any day. Still haven't given her a Grammy. I'm sick. Is what it is. But
The only one she hasn't won is like song or like album. There's like because I know she already has a lot of Grammys, but there's like one that like she never wins. Is it album of the year?
Album of the year. And I'm sick because it's like Taylor, bro.
That stuff though, that is like
Beyonce.
that's like a lot of politics.
And same thing with
That's
Drake.
politics.
Same thing with Drake. Like, don't get me wrong, I've had this debate many a times. I tell people straight up, I'm like, when when they were saying that whole that Drake and Meek beef, when he was like, oh, he's getting bodied by a singer, he's a singer doing this, and like I'm like, he's not a singer. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. He's not a singer. He's not, like, he can sing. He's It's consumable the way that he sings.
He's not
but
competing
he's not a
with
singer.
he's not competing with real singers like Adele.
Exactly. He's not talented as a singer. He's talented as a hit maker.
A pop star, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not the best. Like, you never seen Drake on a freestyle.
Exactly.
You never seen Drake dance. You never seen. You seen him do
took
the Hotline Bling.
It took a while to see Drake on the freestyle. I'm not gonna cap, actually.
Like, you see him do the Hotline Bling, but you won't see him dance. He can't really like you won't see him hit a falsetto on a song,
especially on the stage. He's not performing like Usher on stage.
Exactly,
You know
but
what
that's
I'm
the thing. It's like, what is making them so good at what they do? Is the intangibles. It's the stuff that doesn't require the talent.
The whole planning behind it.
Exactly, the planning, the strategic. When to drop this? Why are you dropping this? Who to mention, who to do this with, who to do a feature with, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some people might say it's like culture vulturing. How that's a big debate. Him stepping onto like the reggaeton scene, him stepping onto those Caribbean, speaking in that Jamaican accent and that patois and speaking Spanish and all that. People might say that's culture vulturing. Whatever it is at the end of the day.
Most of that stuff was honestly just great marketing. But when it comes down to a point where it's like, hey, you're really not this guy that you're saying. That's when it becomes inauthentic.
Yeah.
Like, especially like how are you gonna have someone? Because Vori wrote the what is this song? Sick of these niggas. Mob Ties.
Yeah.
Vori wrote Mob Ties for it. Everyone's like, yo, that song was hard. Drake's street. How you gonna get your street cred off of the song someone else wrote for you?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
Yeah, boy.
Then again, he's very well off upbringing on the grass. He already made a name for himself. Didn't really. I can't speak because I wasn't there to watch his upbringing, but like, it's clear to see that he didn't have that struggle as most people would think he has in the songs that he does.
Most of that stuff is pretty like new.
And for a lot of people, like a regular person, on the street, was to start claiming all this stuff, saying all this stuff. Canadian dude speaking patois on songs, now singing Spanish songs with Bad Bunny, doing all this, but not really giving back to that culture type of thing. People would say that's culture vulture. you got to look at it from different perspectives. You know, at the end of the day, what he's doing is making him money. What he's doing is putting his name out there, is keeping him relevant. You know, and like I said, he's not competing with anybody. He probably doesn't care about anybody else's opinion because at the end of the day, you're still gonna tune in to watch. You know, yeah, what's that? What's that bowling guy? The bowling guy that says, "Who do you think you are? I am." He dropped a fire quote when he retired. He was like, "Whether you hated me, that's all you could do. That's all you could do. You just watched."
Right.
So it's like,
Not, but that was like me when I had like my little rap beef in Manch too though. Like I'm like, yo, like I'm #1 in the state. Everyone was mad, but like they didn't prove me wrong. So it's like, and I understand most of that stuff is great marketing and it brings attention to it, but it's like, yeah, like you can't like argue with a guy who's like on the top because you're not there yet. What do you know about being on top? You know, I'm like, sheesh.
But I have one question.
Yeah,
Kind of like segue.
yeah.
Who are some of the people that either inspired you to like start what you want to do?
Music wise,
It's like anything.
yeah, I got
Like
you.
they either inspire you, they're like a mentor to you, or
Mhm.
like they motivated you to like
All right.
do what you want to do in life.
So-
Name like, well, me.
I have a couple names.
Yeah, name a couple. I'm not
So-
gonna give you.
First, it's Dad, right? Because Dad was making music like a while ago. We did for the talent show, you know, since when we were kids. Like, you know, Dad's #1. James is #2. Cause I remember James used to say back then, "Oh, I want to start doing music." Cause we remember James used to just watch straight music videos.
Yep.
There was be times where he didn't even watch TV. He would just watch music videos of rappers. I'd be like, "Yo, like these guys are cool. I want to be like Lil Wayne too when I grow up." Duh, duh. You know, just smoking and swearing. You know, yeah, Lil Wayne's cool.
That sounds
Yeah,
crazy.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's it. Like
smoking and cussing.
that's it. And then like actual like music inspirations, it was Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, wow, this guy said something that is actually gonna stick with me, like for like the rest of my life. Like Good Kid, Mad City. Hearing that whole project, I was like, whoa. I feel like I actually got life advice. I need to become a better human being. Like I have to actually develop this like thing I call a life. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's like there's more to me than this moment right here. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think that just helped me grow up a lot. And then I was like, oh yeah, I could do this too. Like later on, like when it came closer to high school, like I was listening to like him and Drake, because Drake's up there too. I would listen to her music, I'd be like, man, this is easy. And then when I actually got into it, I struggled so bad. Yo, I remember I'd be like, yo, Dad, you like this beat? He look at me, he look away, he ignored me. I'm like, wow, that hurt. No cap. But hey, I didn't give up. So like, yeah, nah, I made some trash beats back
Yo,
then.
I
I'm not gonna
remember-
cap. But like,
I remember the first time this dude slept over at this house.
yeah,
That was
He
the
wrote
night.
the rap.
Yeah.
He wrote the rap, and I remember like he's reading it. He's trying to like say it, and like you could just tell it's like, yo, this shit's just it's like
right.
too complex. I remember I told you I'm like, yo, the thing is, like what you're saying, like you know, it's fire, but like not everybody's like if you want to appeal to like a bigger audience, you
People
gotta
can't. Yeah, you gotta simplify the complex.
you gotta water that like you gotta like you can still give out the same message on what you say in that bar, but like you can give it in a more digestible way.
Delivery, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah. So yeah, thank God though. But I'm glad we had that whole experience of like small box into ECD like way back earlier in the days. Cause like, bro, the living room and the closet used to be the studio for real. Like
No
that was
AC.
crazy.
No AC,
They don't know,
no
bro.
light.
No AC, no. Oh man,
Yo, so me and this guy
bro.
were there that whole like
That
we were
whole-
there that day.
the
Like looking back,
inception.
looking at back at that is like, yo, this was opening the gate. Like
Exactly.
this was the
Floodgate.
flood. This was the flood. You know, that night we come back. You're messing with the computer. You're trying to. You don't even have Logic downloaded yet. You get Logic downloaded. blah blah blah. You're messing with it. You couldn't figure it out. Put it to rest. We wake up. I wake up a little late. I see you back on the computer still.
Yeah.
Early, like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Cizo comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, he figured out how to get voice on it.
Right?
He figured out how to get voice on it." And I'm in my head. I'm like, "Yo, this is the coolest thing I've ever ever in my life." Like
right?
we growing up, watching music videos,
You know what I'm
listening to
saying?
music, like always like
crazy.
freestyling as jokes, like with
Yeah.
YouTube beats. You know, now it's like, yo,
We could actually
we can
do something.
we can actually make music. And I remember that. It was the dun 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 dun, that beat.
Simple ABC
Yep,
beats, right?
yep. It was a simple A B B A B A B type of format, and it was like, yo. So going off of that, why I'm saying all that is how did that help you get to where you are now? And how did that inspire you? Like that beginning part, and how are you able to hold on to that, that feeling and consistently like put your all into music and not have it get played out and not have, burn yourself out of it.
I got you. So for that moment, right? First things first, that was the most bored I've ever been in my life. My dad was like, "Yo, you want to have bad grades? No Xbox for a year.
No phone,
Gone.
no computer.
Gone." So I'm like, "Can I use the computer?" He's like, "Yeah, but no games." I was trying to get into 3D design. He said, "That looks like games to me. No 3D design." I'm like, "All right, bro, whatever." I get into music. He didn't cut that one. So I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll take that," right? I'm making, and for that moment specifically, when we were finally able to like get something recorded, the way it opened it up for me, I was like, whoa, like this just opened up the door for me to be like all these rappers I used to see growing up on like TV in these music videos. So like in my head, I'm like, yo, literally nothing's impossible. I can teach myself anything I want to. So like it gave me a belief that like I can actually learn anything. Like if I teach myself the right way, I can learn anything and I can achieve any goal just because I got to this point.
Mm-hmm.
It just opened up a bunch of other doors. I just gotta find them. That's it. So like me, I think it was less about the music and more about the fact that I opened up the door. So I became obsessed with opening up doors. That kept consecutively opening up and like opening up future opportunities and different opportunities. Cause it even came down to a point where like I was starting to like get to like making releases like 2 a.m. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like
4 a.m.
exactly.
Dude, it's walking down here, taking pictures, setting up lights, all this stuff, and in my head, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. And then it's like what we were talking about before, like, and then you finally get the finished product, you listen to it.
Yeah.
Like the way I listen to it is way different from like people that haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, it also is different than like I live with you.
Yeah, no, I got you. But yeah, still, I got you.
I was like, I remember hearing some of these songs for months being played over and over and over and over and over. Some of them it got so annoying, but I'm like, you know what? He's working, he's doing something. I'm not seeing him like, yo, bro, turn this off. I'm like, mad annoying. So like, when I tell you the same song, it's like Dreadhead Baby, played so many times. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yo, I'm no cap. Like it makes me sick. Like you gotta like be into like whatever you're doing so much you get sick of it. You take your time off of it, and then you come back and it feels fresh again. Like you gotta love whatever you're doing that much. Like I don't know. Shout out to music. Like and shout out to dad for taking the Xbox away. Like
Yeah, I tell mom all the time, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you guys may have felt bad, but like that is the greatest thing
That
you've
was
ever done for them.
greatest thing you guys have ever done for me. Like I'll never like. And yeah, I felt bad that whole moment. Cried a little. Don't care. I'll cry again. They saved my life. Like no cap. Like I actually have dreams. I have something to look forward in the future. You know, not just playing games all the time. The like just being like a deadbeat kid. Like you know, like I actually like they actually gave me something to look forward to, just by taking certain things that weren't serving me in my life, taking things away from me.
Opened up your perspectives to look at other things,
Right?
You didn't preoccupy your time with stuff that was kind of just
Exactly.
time
Like,
filler.
I couldn't see the doors in front of me because I was just sitting there like looking at like dead end like doors.
Yeah,
Like you open a door and there's just a wall behind it. Like imagine that. Like
yeah.
they're like, bro, there's all these other doors. Like do something with your life. Duh, duh. Like, yeah, no, I appreciate them. No cap.
Crazy how small little things can,
Snowball
plant
into
the
like,
seed.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
going back to, like relationships and everything, connections and all that. Like
Everything.
think about it. Bro, I've known you guys since I was like literally couldn't even speak.
Exactly.
And then
You just
next thing I
somehow-
know is my mom telling me is Sean and Desmond moved. And as a kid, me hearing that, I'm thinking I'll never see you guys again.
Yeah, like we're halfway across the country.
Halfway across the country, I'm like, yo,
We're
what?
across the Merrimack River.
Exactly,
Yeah.
across the Merrimack River. And then one day I see your dad
Yeah,
at after a football game.
yeah.
And my mom was like, I just saw Sean and Desmond's dad. And I was like, really? Blah, 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 da, da. And then I'm a kid, so I forget stuff. And then go to school, sixth
That was
grade,
crazy.
sitting next to this guy in Healthy Lives. He goes, yo, I'm like, what's up? He goes, are you Jameson? I'm like, yeah.
From Jameson and McKenzie, he was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I was like, yeah. He goes, I'm Sean, remember me? I was like, Sean and Desmond Sean? He goes, yeah. And that was another thing that
Yo,
looking
that's
back on, like,
crazy.
opens the gates. That
So,
was
like,
like, bro,
So many, yeah.
it's
exactly.
crazy because I don't know how. Yo, if you never said yo, like, I probably wouldn't be sitting right here in this podcast,
Exactly.
mad things, accomplishments, and stuff like that. It's all about,
Yo, I'm telling you, that
those
same
small moments.
day, Sean came on, he's like, yo, bro, I saw Jameson. I'm like, Jameson who? He's like, Jameson McKenzie. I'm like, what? I'm like, they're alive, they're back. What? Yo, that was the craziest day, bro. Like, I was so happy to see you guys. That's just
Yo.
crazy.
And dudes don't know, bro. And then that first night, at that age, you're always having sleepovers,
Yeah.
parties, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. The first night, I ever sleep over your house.
Right.
First night ever since like a little kid.
Yo,
First night. And that's the night that you discover music and all that. And,
exactly.
discover, something as little as, yo, he was able to put voice on it. He's able to
Yo,
record the voice.
That opened the
It's like,
floodgates
yo,
to,
it's like a caveman finding fire, yo.
That's crazy.
It's like Helen Keller touching water.
Type shit, right?
It's like
Shit.
the small moments, and that all ties back to what we're talking about is connections, embracing the small moments, doing the intangible stuff,
Yo.
finding the creativity, thinking about it as a big picture, but also not getting lost in like, it's important to have these SMART goals,
Yeah.
specific, measurable,
Exactly,
attainable,
exactly.
realistic, and time-based goals. But you also got to understand, you can't just take steps.
Yo.
Steps are important, like these big steps. I mean, steps are important. Ladders are important. You don't see each step being 5 feet tall.
Exactly.
You don't see each ladder grasp thing 5 feet long.
Sometimes it's like climbing a mountain.
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta go up. Sometimes you even gotta go back down just to get up further.
Exactly.
You know
The
what I'm saying?
pyramids weren't built top down.
Exactly.
No, they're built bottom up.
Mhm.
I don't know how they were built. Speculations, I don't know. But they were
shit,
built
they
brick
were
by
built.
brick.
That's it.
No matter what, they were built brick
Brick
by
by
brick.
brick.
And that's important. You got to find every day to find a way to build a brick. You got to find every day a way to chop the wood, carry the buckets of water. It's always about finding that small, traction that you have on something. You weren't as good as you are now when you first started music.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you had that expectation to be where you are now when you
Exactly.
first started, you wouldn't be doing music
Exactly.
anymore. If you expected to be as good when you first, started your designs as you are now, then you wouldn't keep doing it. It's all about taking those small steps. It's all about embracing failures, failures are only failures if you don't learn from them.
Type shit.
You know, they're never L's, always a lesson. And that's why you gotta take solace in it. And it's another big saying. I'm dropping a whole lot of sayings, but
No,
if
I
you
got
think you think the price for risk is too high, then wait till you get the bill for regret.
Exactly. What?
Like,
Till you get the bill for regret.
Put that shit in all caps. What? That's I'm telling you. Like that's why I keep trying these concerts. Like I don't care how many times I fail now. Like, cause me, I know. Like when I do get it, I'm gonna be the happiest person on earth. Like
Yeah.
no one can tell me otherwise. Like I'd rather fail and know I was close and know how to fix it next time than not do it and just never get there. You know,
Exactly.
never get to that paradise moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, last question, just because I really want to see you guys do it ASAP. Yo, what are you guys doing with this podcast, bro? I want to see a TSO podcast because I know you guys got stuff to talk about.
Got a whole lot of stuff that we've talked about already. I'm saying, like you were saying before, we were saying off camera, is I think speaking for myself, but if anybody agrees, like it wouldn't be too far to say like we want everything to be perfect when we first do it, and that goes back to what I was saying is
It's not gonna.
we're not thinking about the brick by brick. We want it to be.
Never works.
We're seeing all these athletes just drop podcasts because they already got the foundation and the bread to get all these high end equipment,
Like,
and
bro,
we're thinking we need
I
that.
want you to look at this up. This is my iPhone right here.
Yeah.
The back's cracked. I got bro, iPhone 12 Pro, the back's cracked. I'm
Extension
doing
cord.
I don't even
with
have
the broken
4K
charger.
video on. It's on
Yeah.
HD 30 frames per second. I don't even have microphones. My charger's attached to an extension cable to my garage.
And the charger's not even plugged in.
We're in the backyard. We have no sound equipment. I'm about to figure out a way to edit this after the fact. And I know you have Adobe. I know Adobe has the AI shit that can just do it for you.
Yep.
Exactly. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta start somewhere. Cause I know there's a lot of people that's gonna benefit from this. And the value you guys are gonna end up providing to these people is gonna be so much more than like they're gonna ignore the fact that like there's all this bad quality. You know what I'm saying? Because what you're providing is like so much more than like what they're like giving. You know what I'm saying? So like, you guys real life just needs to start like literally a phone and a cozy spot where you guys are at. That's all you need, and you guys just need to sit and talk. Even if you guys are just playing video games and talking. Like I remember I tried to tell you like maybe you could do it off Discord and just do a like audio podcast off of Discord alone. And you guys literally just play live PlayStation Live the with each other and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But like you guys real life you need to start because like TSO could be so much bigger than like your lunchroom table.
Mm-hmm.
You guys could take it to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
But like I just don't know what you guys' roadblock is. And I'm talking about all you guys as a collective. Because you guys all need to have the same vision together in order to even get to that point.
Yeah.
So, like, if you all don't want to do a podcast,
then you all don't have to.
you know, you all don't have to, but, like, you can't let their, like, their decision, like, hold you guys back from at least doing something as a collective. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like right now, individually, people are like, they're doing their own stuff like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But like collectively as a group, I don't know how to word this. It's like we're not. It's really the way the world is going right now, with, like the economy, like everybody, like we're trying to get our life situated first.
Yeah.
And then the second that happens, like, all right, give back to the. Not saying that we don't already do that.
Yeah, no, I got you.
With all of them, it's like if I need a place to stay, need to do whatever, even when I don't ask, all that stuff is provided. Like it's like just one community. Like for something like a podcast, it's like all right. For example, Katie's at school.
Yeah.
Freaking Bruno has a full time job. Roche selling card, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like we're all collectively putting in like the 1000% effort to be like, all right, let's do a podcast.
Sometimes you don't have to do that though. So sometimes you guys can all just do 10%. and that collectively, because there's
Adds
10 of
up
you,
to 100.
will add up to 100. So like, I'm not telling you guys to like do like a podcast, just because I assume you guys see each other at least once a week or once a month, right?
I talk to everybody like every day.
Every day, you guys talk to each other.
Yeah.
But like, how much do you guys see each other?
Depends. Cause like there's some people we'll see a lot more often. Like Will,
Yeah.
it's harder to see him because he lives in Mass.
Mass, yep.
And then K3 is harder because he's at school.
All
and
right.
then Los has a schedule that's different than ours. Like me and Cizo are pretty much like on the same. Me, Cizo, and Uno are typically always like on the same schedule work wise, so we're able to see each other more conveniently than others.
Yeah.
But we all like communicate with each other like every day. You know.
So, all right. So, how about I propose this, right? Like, could you guys at least like get together once a week, even if it's through phone?
Yeah, easy.
All right. So, I say this, right? Those of you guys who can get together in person, I would do that in person, and then also have everyone else on video or phone to call from wherever they're at.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you guys can have your podcast once a week, and you don't have to drop everything right away. You guys can save like at least like a month's worth of podcasts, just so you guys have stuff to sit on, content to sit on.
Yeah.
And then you can just go from there, so that when you have days you miss out or you just can't keep up with, you can fill it in. You have a month's worth of time to fill that time in.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Another big thing is itinerary. So when you have a podcast and all that,
You don't even have to worry about that.
really?
No, like what? Like I had questions for you guys just
Yeah.
because I want to help people with specific stuff. But like, what would you guys be talking about?
So it'd be like
Would it be current events type stuff?
a lot of our big debates and like good conversations come with, obviously life, what we're
Yeah.
talking about, connections and stuff like that. But then like sports and like music and all that, and like who's top five,
So,
current sports
stuff
things
like
going
that.
on.
I would real life like from what you're saying. What it sounds like you all you have to do is just have the main topic as the
Mhm.
itinerary,
Yeah.
and you talk about that until it exhausts,
Yeah.
and then you move on to the next topic. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like, let's say if it was sports, you could talk about something specific, like about a certain person getting drafted or just the draft in general. You
Yeah.
know, let's say if it was football or basketball draft, right?
Yeah.
You could just talk about the draft, and that would be your itinerary because you all have your own opinions. You know what I'm saying about how the draft is gonna go, whatever. Duh. So you would just talk about that, and then if you want something else to talk about, there's a lot of you guys, so like you can all have your opinions. It's gonna be a good amount of time just for one topic alone. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to bring something up, one of you out of like 10 of you guys, if there's 10 people in TSO, like out of one of you, it just takes one of you guys to change the subject to a different topic. Whatever you guys want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? People just want to hear like
You're like a moderator. Not even like a moderator, but like you said, like someone to be like, all right, we got to keep this.
No, I can understand, but moderator, you really only need that for like when people start talking over each other.
Yeah.
Like, cause you know when the like combo gets like crazy.
There's like a lot of us all speaking at once.
Exactly.
Like, someone like whether we take turns with like one designated person, like we gotta know when to like switch the topics.
Exactly.
Without like not letting people get to say their piece.
Yeah.
Or like having it get too out of control.
Yeah.
But
So
you
like,
you gotta have it be like, all right. After this, next question.
Yeah. No, because like for you
say one
guys,
mic.
I definitely hear you guys argue a lot. So like, I would say like maybe have like if you're a moderator, once it gets past like 2 or 3 people arguing at a time, people won't even be able to hear that.
Yeah.
They're gonna hear like just blah blah blah, right? So once it gets to that point, the moderator has to cut it off from there, in order for like the content to still be like edible for people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, you don't have to worry about like staying on topic. Just flow. Just have fun with it first. You're worrying about too much at a time. You know, you're trying to be perfect. You're still going through that process. Just worry about talking, and once you are comfortable with like the whole like routine, and you're in a routine of like meeting once a week, having a simple setup, all that. Once you get to that point, then it's like, all right, cool. I want to start being more on topic. I want to start providing specific values for my audience, for these people that are listening to us. You know what I'm saying? That's when you stay on an itinerary. Like me, I'm on a kind of a creative itinerary because I'm trying to like provide content to creatives and like people starting businesses. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we've been trying to stay on topics of like growing and how creative like affected creative being creative affects our lives.
Yeah.
I've been trying to keep it towards those topics. I don't mind drifting off every once in a while,
Yeah.
but I still bring it back to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you can like kind of like if you're gonna be a moderator, do it like that. But like even you just kind of have to have the awareness of it. But you know what I'm saying? Just but you guys have such a tight knit group. Like people only like groups like you guys don't even survive past like high school.
So everybody said. Everybody said we wouldn't even make it out of middle school.
And you guys did. Like you guys like have the ability to be like the next AMP type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys have like you guys' group is so like locked like tight. Like you just need to lock in as a group. You need to have like that common vision and like build something together.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's like we all have our individual things, but like in terms of like locking in as a group and what's the potential we can be, it's like it's not something we're actively act like right now doing.
So who needs to be the person to like put their foot down and say like, "Yo, guys, I think we need to actively start doing this." You know, like how do you get to that point?
I think the way you do it.
Because like you guys have planned trips together.
Yeah, but even that, it's like it gets shenanigans just because like there's so many people, so many schedules. But I feel like the way to go about it, it's like you gotta divide and conquer. So it's like you gotta start with.
All right, I got you.
You gotta start small. Excuse me. I almost gotta like, what's the word? Like a simile. So it's like, all right,
No, I got
starts
you.
with just us two, and then we'll say like, all right,
Just
let's
add
say
Uno
we're
because
gonna add
he
Uno
has the same
slowly, add
similar
low
schedule. I
slowly.
got you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
no,
one
I
by
know.
one.
Yeah.
Rome
Because like
wasn't
when we
doing
all
it a
talk
day. I
about
got
stuff as
you.
a group, like not everybody always says their opinion,
Yeah,
or like not everybody's always fully as invested.
I got
And
you.
it's just like a natural like sense of like
Yeah.
you feel like once you see it's kind of like the bandwagon thing. Like once you see like all right, they're making progress with this, they started this.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, yeah. Just going back to what you were saying about how like, jump out. Like
Yeah.
in the same sense and like not as a hypocritical sense. It's more of like a you know, it's hard to like Caesar was saying, we all have like our individuality
Yeah.
and like what we're trying to, everybody has their own like individual goals and stuff like that. Not everybody would be as bought in because
Yeah.
not everybody wants to do a podcast
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
But also, it's like maybe they might not want to do a podcast because they don't know, like they don't see the vision
can't
as
see
much
the
as
full
we,
vi-
and
yeah, I
and
got
that's
you.
fair because we're all individuals at the end of the day. But like Caesar was saying, is like assimilating, like start small and
So you
then
gotta make them
slowly and then float slowly like
Yeah.
integrate, so that all of us can have that vision
Yeah.
and all of us can see it where it's going. Because right now it's more like it's like, yo, let's do this, let's do that. But like I still need to do this on my own and then I'll get to that. I don't know if that's really gonna work, so blah blah blah. It's like a whole bunch of like
Yeah, no. So you gotta make them believe first. So I can see like
so like even with the first like we went to an Airbnb, it was only four of us in the group.
yeah.
yeah.
But like when we first presented the idea, like not everybody was like fully up for it because like like bread, like
Yeah,
got
I
scheduled,
got
all that stuff. Like as the year goes on, I think this is like the third year we've done something in the summer.
you guys wanna I'm thinking like you guys were talking about investing in a property together. My continue. You're
No,
talking about like for like
I mean, like in terms of like getting everybody to like be like, all right, 1,000% like, all right, let's do this. Like
it doesn't
for one
start,
example, like the Airbnb, it started with just four of us,
Mhm.
and now everybody's like, damn, like like you guys look like you had mad fun. It was tough. Like like all of us gotta be there the next year, right? And then the next year, we have like a few people missing, and then the year after, it's like one more person that goes every year.
I got
So
you.
like, you
You know
gotta
what?
just start it, and then just
That makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like so the way I'm seeing it, for you to actually, yeah, you guys have to start small. So like start with this podcast, and then at that point that means it's gonna grow into every endeavor you decide to get into.
yeah.
So it's like, let's say you guys want to collectively get into like real estate together or whatever, or you guys want to start an agency for whatever, consulting, marketing, whatever. After you guys as a collective completed so many projects together, the collective of TSO finally believes in, hey, whatever we want to do, we can do together, and it's up. You know what I'm saying? It's already a dub. You know what I'm saying?
Like you gotta, something like you gotta see it to believe it. Not saying like like exactly like we all support each other all that stuff, but like
No, but I understand
just to
that.
be like, yo, I'm about to get a rental property. Until one of us physically does it, like bro, like I need like $1,800 each month off
You
of
know?
like 2 units, whatever. I'm just throwing out random numbers.
Yeah, I
and
got
then the
you.
next person, like, yo, like, does dude really need like almost 2 bands
Like,
off
hey, bro,
rental
you
property?
want to go half on me with this property? Like, I'll show you all the like, what to do, and then you guys.
And
Yeah, I got you.
that's the big thing is because again you got to think about it. Like a lot of us grew up, you know, with each other.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's not like we all met when we were all established and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like
exactly.
we grew up, a lot of us saw the same things going on at the same time, you know, and a lot of these things it makes it so hard and why it's so hesitant in my opinion, why I think it's hesitant is because we never seen anybody else do this.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody
You don't have that
to
role
give
model.
us that
Yeah,
perspective to
exactly.
be like, yo, I've done this before. Let me do this, blah, blah, blah. You know, we're all constantly learning from ourselves. Yeah, we all learn from like our parents and our older, generation and stuff.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think we've learned and connected the most when we go through experiences and then we tell each other.
Exactly.
You
I
know,
got you.
like when I say like, yo, I did this, like, yo, I know this person say you want to get a tattoo or something like this.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I know this person, blah blah, I know how to, treat it, this and that, the aftercare, stuff like that. Something small like that. But
Yeah.
then going into like, yo, business wise, guys, I just did this. I know that you're not in this same, kind of organization or same like vision as you want to do with this. Like I'm an engineer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
For in Uno's case, like he'll go and show us some financial tips. He'll
Yeah.
show us some financial advice.
Exactly.
Will show us some security advice and stuff like that. Like he'll teach us, be like, yo, I know how to do this, da 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 da.
And that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I feel like you guys' this group is so powerful. Like, you guys already have like a team. You guys just don't work as a team yet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you can't get to that point. It's just like you said, you gotta go through steps to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta use, like you're saying, we're tight knit. We like you don't see it like a lot of, especially today. Like, bro, we just gotta use it to our potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just gotta use it to our potential.
So, like you work as a team in like many different aspects.
Exactly.
But like,
Yeah.
I feel
And the
like
fact that like guys can even see each other's like weaknesses and fill those in for each other, like that's like I swear people from like my generation, like I say my generation, but like just my friend groups could not do that for each other. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like if you do something, like we're all gonna hold you accountable for it.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like bro, like it's not like we're just like blah 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 blah. It's like bro, like we're saying all this stuff so you can like improve. You don't make the
Yeah.
same mistakes. And one thing, like it's hurting you, it's hurting the people around you,
Yo.
and it hurts us.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like that's one thing. It's like the second there's a problem, you address it right away. It's like we hold each other accountable. It's like, bro, you can't do something like that. Or you shouldn't do that. Or you should try doing this.
You know? Well, you guys are there for each other. Like